Nick Saban claimed history over the weekend. 4 Heisman Trophy winners since 2009. Finally got the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback in the bag. Bryce Young, BY, bringing the Covenant Bronze Award home to Tuscaloosa. And we are rocking and rolling right here on a Monday on the baddest show. #1 forum, #1 source in ticket entertainment for all things Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith, Touchdown Alabama Magazine, bringing you the show from the magic city of Birmingham, streaming this to you on YouTube. Speaking of a channel, go ahead right now, drop a thumbs up, run those likes up, hit that like button there. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button also. If you have not subscribed already, get your friends to subscribe so that way you can have all of your news, notes, alerts, coverage, everything you crave about Crimson Tide football. Got you covered right here. Turn all of those notifications on. Hit that little bell so you can stay up to date on your program. Got you covered also on Facebook and Twitter, streaming to you the show. We got a lot to break down on tonight. We got my man Shaun Dion Hamilton, former Alabama linebacker of the Nick Saban era, 2-time college football playoff national champion. He's coming on a little bit later in the show to talk about the Crimson Tide getting us set to go up here in the college football playoff as Alabama will take on Cincinnati on New Year's Eve, 2:30 p.m. Central Time from AT&T Stadium, Arlington, Texas, the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. ESPN will have the matchup. We got the early signing period, National Signing Day on Wednesday. That's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be a lot of action. So many things for you, the fans, to look forward to in terms of TDA. And as always, we want your passion, we want your fire, we want your energy. Blow the phone lines up tonight with your phone calls, your thoughts, your questions. And you can do this by calling 205-448-1358. That's the number right there to let your voice be heard, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. The daily super chat goal, $75. Daily super chat goal. Appreciate the support from you guys. How about Alabama men's basketball? Nate Oates got it done over the weekend. The Crimson Tide getting a huge 83-82 win over the Houston Cougars. Houston was in the Final Four of the NCAA tournament last year. J.D. Davidson, the high-rising freshman, made 2 big plays in the matchup, had a thunderous putback dunk in the second half, late in the second half, and had the game-sealing block there at the end. Crimson Tide improving to 8-1 on the, I think 9-1 on the year is what Alabama improved to, still in the top 10 in the country for college basketball. But now we're getting to topic number 1 here at the conversation, folks. Bryce Young got it done over the weekend. Bryce Young taking home the Heisman Memorial Trophy. It was a very special moment for not just the Alabama football program, but you, the Crimson Tide fans. You were overjoyed. You were extremely excited, extremely happy, extremely pumped up. Like, this was a moment we have all been waiting to see. This is a moment we've all been waiting to be able to behold, watching the first quarterback in the history of Alabama football take home the coveted Bronze Award in New York City. And there have been so many great ones that have come through the program. When you discuss Pat Trammell, Bart Starr, Joe Namath, Ken Stabler, Richard Todd, Stedman Shealy, Walter Lewis. The list goes on. There have been so many great ones to come to the program. Tua Tagovailoa, A.J. McCarron, John Parker Wilson. A lot of them have come through. And for Bryce Young to be the first, for Bryce Young to be the guy to finally, kick the door down and hand Coach Saban his first Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, the way he handled himself, the way he carried himself, the touching speech that he made, watching the tribute that Devontae Smith gave to him. It was just a special night for the Alabama fans in the program, all across the landscape. As you look at now Coach Saban, 4 Heisman Trophy winners. Mark Ingram got it in 2009. 2015 was Derrick Henry's time. 2020, last year, was Devontae Smith. And now we have here Bryce Young. Young becoming the third different position player to win the Heisman for Alabama. Mark Ingram, Derrick Henry were both running backs. Devontae Smith, the wide receiver. Bryce Young, of course, the quarterback, and now Alabama has back-to-back Heisman winners in the Saban era, with Devontae Smith getting it in 2020 and Bryce Young getting it this season. So just so much joy, just so much excitement, just so much buzz going around the program. Bama's finally got one. Bama's got one. Bama's got one. Big one for the Crimson Tide at the quarterback position. And Coach Saban is quickly making the University of Alabama a place where quarterbacks can come and win Heisman trophies. He's quickly making the Tide program in Tuscaloosa very quarterback friendly. And I'll say this, Blake Sims does not get the credit he truly deserves. He doesn't get the flowers he truly deserves in orchestrating the dual threat quarterback under the Nick Saban tenure at Alabama. So definitely going to give Blake his flowers. He started this. Blake Sims started this. And then behind Blake, you had Jacob Coker, who had athleticism in his game. You had Tua Tagovailoa, of course, Jalen Hurts also. And with all of those guys, Bryce Young comes in here and is able to deliver what all of those guys before him pushed for, strived for, wanted to do, wanted to bring to the program. But it was Bryce Young. It was Young that was able to finally, get this done. And for Coach Saban, it's huge for him, and I mentioned this on last week that this really puts more on the GOAT legacy that is Coach Saban, because with everything that's been thrown at him, he's been able to maneuver it, he's been able to manage it, he's been able to dominate it. Quite truthfully, when he first got here, it's going to take you 6 to 7 years to win the first national championship. He gets the first one in 3 years and now has 6 national titles at Alabama, going after a 7th one. He's been able to recruit at the university extremely well. Several top-ranked recruiting classes, trying to get another one here for the 2022 cycle. I mean, the thought has been, can Saban be able to master the transfer portal and master losing so many coaches every year and still be able to reload, still be able to retool, still be able to keep the thing going? Saban has been able to do that at an extremely high level. You look at the NFL draft, placing over 100 players in the NFL draft, and then now the question's always been, Saban can produce running backs. He can develop wide receivers. He can develop offensive and defensive linemen. He can develop linebackers and defensive backs. But is Alabama a place that can pop out that Heisman-winning quarterback? Is Alabama a place that can develop quarterbacks to be next-level guys? Is Alabama a place where they are in that quarterback U conversation? And with Bryce Young hoisting the Heisman Trophy over the weekend, it emphatically says yes, Alabama is in that quarterback U conversation. I think they've always been in it, but with Bryce winning the Heisman, it just further stamps the pin. It just further drives the point home that Alabama is in that quarterback U conversation. And that Coach Saban continues to show why he is the greatest to do it, not just in the college football world, but in the coaching spectrum, period. And then, of course, for you as fans out there, you got what you always wanted, right? Because as much as we say we want Alabama to win national championships, as long as Alabama wins the Natty, as long as Alabama brings home the big trophy, then we're okay. As long as Alabama brings home the big trophy, then that's all that matters. And yes, you want to see the Crimson Tide in the year holding the national championship, holding the college football playoff trophy. But getting a quarterback from this program to win the Heisman, it's a big deal, because now you have somebody as fans that you can brag about, that you can put your arms around, that you can cherish and hug and love on and embrace and say, we got one. Yeah, we've seen the Texas we've seen Texas A&M get one. We've seen Auburn get one. We've seen Oklahoma get one. We've seen USC get some. We've seen so many other programs be able to boast their Heisman Trophy winning quarterback everywhere. Well, now at the University of Alabama, where legends are made, the Crimson Tide has one. The Crimson Tide has a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. It can put its arms around, it loves, it embraces, it cherishes, it's so happy, it's so thrilled to have one of its very own. And what's crazy here, John, is how the voting stacked up here for Bryce. Bryce dominated first place votes for the Heisman. I think he got near 80% of those first place votes. I think it was like 680 out of 700 or 800 something, not quite all the way sure on the schematics of it all, but he dominated all of the regions in terms of the Heisman. So although, Will Anderson not invited to New York, Will Anderson didn't get a chance to take part here in the joy that he deserved to take part in. At the end of the day, a Crimson Tide player walked out of New York City, a Crimson Tide player walked out of the Big Apple, winning the Heisman Trophy, bringing the excitement to us as fans, and I myself here covering the Alabama football team as a member of the respective media. So kudos to Bryce Young, kudos to Coach Saban, 4 Heisman Trophy winners, first Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. The big question could be, could Bryce Young go back-to-back? Could Bryce Young do it again? And you have to think, he would be an early odds, betting odds across the board, national attention across the board. He would be the early odds for the Heisman again. And I think with a much improved offensive line, because the offensive line is going to be better next season because of the experience that it got from this year, even with graduating Evan Neal to the NFL. I think the offensive line will be better. I think the running back room will be better. You would have a healthy Trey Sanders, healthy Jace McClellan, healthy Roydell Williams, healthy Kamar Wheaton. So that's going to be better for Bryce Young. Then you got the wide receiver room. That's going to be better. When you look at Trayshawn Holden, Ja'Cory Brooks, you got JoJo Earl, Christian Leary, other receivers in here. So the receiver room will be better also. And then, another year with Bill O'Brien, should he remain a year where he's more comfortable, he's more understanding of what's going to be asked and required from him. So I think next year, definitely I think Bryce Young can do it again. And if he does do it again, that puts him in the illustrious group with only Archie Griffin of Ohio State to be the only guy to win multiple Heisman trophies. So Bryce is in a good spot. Bryce has a good shot here to get this one again. But very excited to see him be able to take the trophy home, him being there with his family, with his dad, Mr. Craig Young, his wife, Bryce Young's mom, Miss Julie Young there. Just the whole family was happy. The whole family was excited. The whole family was thrilled. So it was awesome getting to see that from one Bryce Young. But we take a break here, folks, on the show. Don't touch that dial. We're just getting started. Upon our return to the action, we go to the phone lines to take your calls, your thoughts, your tweets, your chats, your interactions. A conversation with you, the fans, comes after this.
You're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith, brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Get your 4-finger bling necklace today by visiting weownthefourthquarter.com. Throw them foes up.
Nine players have teamed up and released the Alabama Team Paper, which is a video yearbook they've put out for sale direct to fans. Now, for the first time, small dollar purchases from the fans can support the players as a group as well as a great cause, because $1 of every subscription payment is donated to the Boys and Girls Club of America. Be a 5-star fan base and support your team and a great cause with Team Paper. Check it out at teampaper.com/Alabama.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit Emily'sHeirloomPoundCakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at Emily'sHeirloomPoundCakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
We're back into the action, folks. Back into the action from the break of a number 1 form for Bama. Football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Let's ride to some super chats right now. We got Nona Davis with that $5 donation. Starting us off on the show. Appreciate the love there from Nona Davis. And then my man, Big Bill. Bill from New York, that $5 donation. Helping us out right there. We got Mechanic with the $25 donation. Dropping it off in here. Behind Mechanic, we got Koala Gang Zay. Koala Gang Zay, that $5 donation right there. And then we got Jovi Hendricks with that $9.99 in the super chats. Appreciate the love coming from each and every last one of you, making this your show, your channel, your network, your place, your space to talk Crimson Tide football. Daily Super Chat goes $75. Appreciate you, the fans. Right now we go to the phone lines to take your calls. Call statement brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. One more time, 205-448-1358. We grab a call here. You're live on the show. What's going on tonight? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Big Money Monday. There's no place I'd rather be. It's TDA, it's Steven, and guess who? It's me. I'm back. Boy, I tell you what, back-to-back Heisman Trophy winners, back-to-back SEC championship. Whew. That's a mouthful, boy. This wears me out just saying it, but I love to hear it, boy. Don't that just have a beautiful ring to it, Steven? Doesn't it just have a beautiful ring?
It does, Waylon, and now all it needs now is back-to-back national championships. That's it right there.
Yep, that's all we need is back-to-back natties. And, boy, I tell you what, we'll have John blowing that horn. He won't never – whew, you'll be able to hear that horn plumb to California somewhere, I'm here to tell you. But there's a lot of people in here. I know it's Monday. A lot of people wanting to call. I've been on a little hiatus there, but I'm back. Glad to see everybody. It's always good, like I said, to be back on TDA. Everybody in the Blue Wrench Gang, everybody in the chat, all the money given, donations, call-ins, messages, everybody loves you. TDA loves you. I do too. There's so many of you, it's hard to get to you with the typing. So I'm telling you now, I see you, I love you, I appreciate you, and the TDA does too. We need to remember these people in Kentucky, Illinois, Arkansas, Missouri. This has been very devastating. All these tornadoes, here in at Christmas time. So, let's say a prayer for these people. They're tore all to pieces, and we're fortunate to be in the shape we're in. And these people without homes, without clothes, without somewhere to go, without food to eat. Let's remember these people tonight. But anyway, we're going to get out of here, and we're going to try to be back on Wednesday. We'll try to get some points back going here by the time the Cincinnati game is on. And I do love all y'all, and I'm glad to be back. And let's remember these people, like I said, say a prayer tonight because they need our help. Good Lord willing, he knows how to make everything right. God's still on the throne. Thank you, Stephen. I'll see everybody Wednesday night. I love everybody. Bye-bye, everyone.
Appreciate weighing in there, calling into the show, getting us started here on a Monday. We grab a call right here. You're live on the show. What's going on tonight? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey there, Stephen. This is Jim Gallagher out of Dallas. How you doing?
Doing great, Jim. How about yourself, man?
I'm doing good. Hey, I wanted to, first of all, of course, congratulate Bryce on winning the Heisman Trophy. It doesn't always happen that the guy who deserves it and earned it doesn't always win, but I think that was the case this time. You was running through the names of some really good quarterbacks in Alabama history that didn't get it. And I'd throw another one in there. One of my favorites was I don't think you mentioned A.J. McCarron. And
he was.
I thought he was
another great one. Yes.
Now I thought he was a dandy, and there were some more. Of course, I guess I'm kind of biased because I think all of them were pretty good. But I want to say a couple of things about our upcoming opponent. The Cincinnati Bearcats, and I'm not sure exactly, and I never have heard anyone say anything about what exactly is a bearcat. Does anybody know what a bearcat is? Is it part bear and part cat, or I'm not sure what they are, and I haven't looked it up. I guess I need to look it up. But I never talked down to opponents, but I've been hearing that they've been wanting a piece of Alabama ever since last year, and that might be one of those cases where you better be careful what you wish for. It's kind of like around here they say, it might be something like the dog that finally caught the pickup truck and didn't know what to do with it. But I'm going to say this about the Bearcats, and they're somewhat like I said about Auburn. The Auburn, their Super Bowl was when they played us. And I told you that before the game, that they didn't care that we were going to the SEC championship, and they were not. Their Super Bowl was when they played us. And I think we're going to have the same situation here with Cincinnati. They're just glad to be at the party. And if they can knock off number one, that's their Super Bowl. And that's what it's shaping up to be. And I think we're going to have a good ball game with them. And I just, like I say, I don't talk down about the opposition. I'm just not that kind of guy. I respect all of them. But I think we'll have a good ball game. And if the offensive line can put in the kind of performance they did against Georgia, I think we're going to have a really good chance to win the game. But anyway, that was just my thoughts, and I'll get off of here and let someone else call in. And I appreciate the show and job you're doing, and appreciate all the other callers too.
Absolutely, my man Jim Gallagher calling in from Texas. It's gonna be a fun game between Alabama and Cincinnati. We will definitely see what happens. We grab a call here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
My name is Brian Smith. I'm calling from Alabama, Piedmont, Alabama.
All right, Brian, what's going on with you, man?
Oh, man, I'm doing good, dude. I'm glad to be here watching your show tonight.
Awesome, man. What's on your mind right now?
Oh, man, I just want to tell you, Alabama's going to win it all, man. I think everybody already knows. We beat Georgia, and they was the best defense, right? So them players wanted everybody to know they're the best on the field when it comes to intensity. And make your ass quit, like Saban says, all day. Roll Tide, baby. I just wanted to shout out to you, man. Appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. Appreciate the call right there from Brian right there calling into the show on a Monday. We grab this call here. You're live on the show on a Monday. What's going on? State your name and where you calling from.
What's going on, Steven? It's Elijah calling from Jersey.
Elijah from Jersey. What's going on, my brother?
Oh, man, I'm hanging in there. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, man. After seeing Bryce Young take home the first Heisman Trophy winning quarterback for Alabama, you got to feel real good right now.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I just had a couple questions to pick your brain a little bit, because I have my own theory on certain things. But one of the questions I wanted to ask you was, when it comes down, we see how crazy this transfer portal has gotten now. Everybody and their mama seem like they transferring out of schools. If they feel like a coach is leaving or the offense is going to change any way, shape, or form, these kids is bolting. Like we just seen Tank Bigsby and Bo Nix, and they up out of there. So my thing with Alabama is, we all know Brian Robinson, this is his last year. So you're going to have Chase McClellan returning, Roy Dale Williams returning, Trey Sanders coming back. You still got Kamar Wheaton. Just think about this kid that's supposed to be coming in from Georgia Tech, supposedly. And then you turn around and you got two running backs signing with the class of 2022. Now, that's a crowded running back room. Even though this year was a jinx of a year, we had 3 guys go down, year-ending injuries. You got Brian Robinson a little banged up. But do you see, just say Alabama wins it all, do you see all those guys staying at Alabama next year? Trey Sanders, I just have a feeling. I think Trey going to be out of there. We seen, and this is the reason why I say this, we seen everybody talk big about Trey. I like the young man personally, but we seen him fall on the depth chart behind Chase and Roydell. So who's to say next year he ain't going to come in the 3rd string running back, or maybe even the 4th string, depending on if the Kamar Wheaton outperforms them or whatever. Who do you think transfers out of that group of running backs?
It's tough to tell. It's tough to tell who would do that, Elijah, and how many would do that. I think it's going to come down to the spring, to be honest with you. I think it's going to come down to spring ball. Next spring, it's going to be very interesting. Whoever does not shake out the way they want to on the depth chart after spring ball, then during that summer, that's when we can see a lot of shaking and moving parts. So I would keep my eye on spring ball. But appreciate Elijah there from Jersey there for that call. Absolutely keep your eye on spring ball. This spring's going to be fun. We take a call here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hi, Stephen. Bill from New York. Feeling good, man. How about you?
Man, I'm feeling great, man. Bryce Young, first Heisman Trophy winning quarterback for Alabama. But if I had champagne, I'd be popping it right now.
I hear you. I'll tell you, I wasn't going to call tonight. I was going to just listen to all these great callers. But your monologue was so good. I mean, so good. I have a couple of things I want to say about it. When you talk about, like, Coach Saban with the GOAT legacy, man, you're 100% on point. Like, I completely readily admit that I expected Bryce Young to start last year. I did. I don't think I'm alone. I think a lot of other people thought the same thing. But, that team, looking back now, was custom made for Mac Jones. He didn't have mobility like Bryce. But you know what he had? He had Leatherwood, Brown, Dickerson. He had all these guys, and he was perfect. He's kind of doing the same thing at New England now. So what a great, great call by Saban. What you said about next year being better, it's almost like impossible for us not to be better. You know what I mean? You're talking about the best players on our team, Bryce and Will Anderson, are sophomores. They're getting better. And even though we're going to lose linemen, what about Brockemeyer? What about Latham? We got guys coming up and coming back that can play, and we're just going to be so good. And you're right. It's about Saban's legacy. Now, since I'm on the phone, I want to talk about the game a little bit, just a little. All right, with Cincinnati, I think that for us to win, and I've said it before, but in different words, the team's going to have to sort of play like the way we beat Notre Dame with Lacey and Yeldon and those monsters up front, just crushing people. And that's what we did. We crushed Notre Dame. And that's what we got to do to this team. We got to just go at them and kick their behinds. And, and Stephen, last thing I want to say is you're going places. You're just going places. You're going right to the top because your show is so good. The callers see it. I see it. You know what I mean? And I'm saying roll Tide.
Appreciate my man Bill. Bill from New York checking in here on a Monday. Gotta shout out Jimmy the Badman Clay one time. Jimmy the Badman donating Clay one time with a 50-piece into the Super Chats, helping us out on a Monday. That daily Super Chat goal of $75 has been met because of you, the family, our family, the Alabama football family, the Blue Winch Gang family, the passionate fans here of Crimson Tide football. As you continue to get your calls in, 205-448-1358. One more time, 205-448-1358. Going to transition to this topic here, and this is on Alabama linebacker Will Anderson. Though he was snubbed for several national awards, I believe the young man has earned something better. He is officially a consensus first-team All-American. 3 of the 5 major selectors have named him a first-team All-American. I'm referring to the Football Writers Association of America, the Walter Camp Football Foundation, and the Associated Press have named Anderson a first-team All-American. So he is a consensus All-American. He needs 2 more selectors to become a unanimous All-American. Those final 2 selectors would be the American Football Coaches Association and Sporting News. So if Mr. Anderson makes first-team All-American from Sporting News and the American Football Coaches Association, he will be a unanimous first-team All-American. So this is going to be huge here for one Will Anderson, sophomore linebacker for the Crimson Tide. We're going to go to a break right now. If you're on the call line, hold for the next 10 minutes, or you can call back within the next 10 minutes. We're going to take this break here. When we get back, we get with my man Shaun Dion Hamilton, 2-time national championship linebacker for Bama in the Saban era, to talk your Crimson Tide. You will hear from Hamilton after this.
You know what we do at the start of the fourth quarter. We throw them foes up. But now you don't have to wait until the fourth quarter. Get your 4-finger bling necklace at WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. It's the first and only logo that captures the essence of all Crimson Tide players and fans as we represent the legendary Alabama football fourth quarter dominance. Get your 4-finger bling necklace right now at WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. Get yours today and stun on them haters. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
We are back to the action here, folks, from the break of a number 1 form for Bama. Football news, in my own words, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Got to shout out my man Bill from New York with that 501 in the Super Chat. Showing love, helping us out here on Touchdown Alabama Magazine. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith, the man, John Ivory in the building as well. But we go over now to the In My Own Words hotline. We pick up when I tell you we got gas. And this dude right here, one of the favorite linebackers I had the privilege of covering in the Nick Saban era. We're talking a 2-time college football playoff national champion, 2015 and 2017. We're talking about one of the more all-around linebackers to play under Coach Saban. We're also talking about the pride of Montgomery, Gump Town, none other than Shaun Dion Hamilton in the building. Brother, what's going on with you?
Steven, what's up, man? Look, you always come through, goddamn. I be feeling like LeBron James when you talk about me, man.
Hey, we gonna get you prepared to dunk a basketball, go to WWE ring. We gonna get you prepared for anything, Shaun. So we got Shaun Dion Hamilton on the show, played for Alabama from 2014 to 2017 out of Montgomery, 2-time college football playoff national champion in the Saban era. So, Shaun, you played with Tua Tagovailoa. Tua's freshman year was your senior year. You got a chance to watch and see what he would ultimately become as a quarterback, especially against the Georgia Bulldogs in the national championship game, the 2nd and 26 play right there, well, the whole second half for that matter. And the guy that Bryce Young is often the most compared to is Tua. But from you watching Tua and you watching what took place with Bryce Young over the weekend, winning the Heisman, just how special for you was that moment, in your opinion, watching Bryce get it, knowing what you saw looking at Tua?
Oh, man, it was a very special and really cool to see. I remember I trained in Tuscaloosa in the offseason. I remember just seeing, like, how calm and quiet and just always, asking questions or even asking me, how was my time, back in Tuscaloosa. Just willing to learn and just seeing how Tua came in with the same similar approach. And seeing the success that Bryce has had this year, it's just been unbelievable and incredible just to watch his story and how things have played out for him.
Absolutely. We got Shaun Dion Hamilton on the phone lines right now, former Alabama linebacker, Alabama great here from 2014 to 2017, two-time national champion 2015 and 2017. Join us right here on the show. So, Shaun, as we look at here, Alabama's preparing to take on Cincinnati, college football playoff semifinal of the Cotton Bowl in Arlington, Texas. But from watching the defensive performance against Georgia in the SEC title game, what had you the most impressed with this group against the Bulldogs? Whether it was the play calling to Pete Golding or just certain players or the team as a whole, what had you the most impressed with the defense?
I think it all comes down to third down, Stephen. I know that's one thing that Coach Saban always preaches, and it's a big day for us always at practice. If you think about how we converted on third downs and always got Georgia off the field, it definitely helped us a lot because we ended up getting the ball back to the offense so we could control the tempo of the game.
All about that ball control. There's something that Coach Saban spends a lot of time discussing about, talking about, harping on. We got Shaun Dion Hamilton right here on the show. Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Yours truly, Stephen Smith, in my own words, on a Monday. Flipping this, Shaun, to the offense with Bill O'Brien. And I know Coach O'Brien has gotten some criticism. He's gotten some flack throughout the season. But the game against Georgia, the SEC championship, his best game plan the entire year, had Georgia off balance, was able to make some plays there in the passing game, having Bryce Young on the attack throughout the game. But as this group prepares for Cincinnati, what did you like about the offense from the SEC title game?
I think the offense just did a really good job. First and foremost, when Georgia sent all those different crazy blitzes, the O-line and B-Rob, give a shout-out to them for just giving Bryce the time to be able to step up in the pocket and make throws. I think Coach O'Brien did a really good job of just spreading the ball around and keeping Georgia balanced. Even though B-Rob was hurt, he still stayed steady to still trying to run the ball. And I think that definitely helped, kept Georgia unbalanced. After Mitch went down, he did a good job of finding ways to get Jamison Williams the ball with a lot of motion and things like that. So Coach O'Brien called a really good game.
So what are you looking for from this offense, Shaun, in the playoff? What do you want to see against Cincinnati from this group offensively?
It's going to be really fun to watch. Watch B-Rod go back to work. I love seeing when he just pounds the rock. When he's getting like 20 to 30 carries, it kind of reminds me of D. Henry. The year he won the Heisman, just getting all those carries, and just can't wait because. Having that balanced attack where you don't know where we're going to run or pass, making defenses bring another guy in the box to stop B-Rob, or this don't have us just so unpredictable.
When you look at just this Wednesday coming up here, Shaun, it's going to be the early signing period in recruiting here for this 2022 class. Just going back to your recruitment in 2014, what was it about Coach Saban? What was it about the coaching staff in Alabama? You being an in-state guy, you being from Montgomery, but what was it about that meeting with Coach Saban that made you go, this is the program for me, I gotta come here?
I think the program just speaks for itself, man. And you go on a lot of visits and you see how some schools may down recruit, or rather than telling you what all their school has to offer, that's all they can do is talk down on a school like Alabama. But man, it just felt so at peace from Coach Saban. Program speaks for itself. I mean, you see the production when it comes to guys making plays in college that are putting themselves in position to go to the NFL. And you look at the graduation rate, it's unreal. I think it's always cool how you have some guys who always hated school in high school. I mean, they had a hard time getting qualified, and seeing these guys graduating 3.5 years, 4 years, some of these guys leaving the university with 2 degrees. I mean, it's just unbelievable because at the end of the day, that's the main reason why you're coming to Alabama is to get an education.
It is, and just kind of final one on my end is, you now in the NFL with the Detroit Lions, was there anything that Coach Saban taught you or shared with you that's had you continuing that success playing pro ball? I know the NFL is a different monster, it's a different league, it's a different arena than college, but what was something that Coach Saban shared with you that stuck with you in the professional game?
I think one thing that stuck with me is just seeing how Coach Saban goes about every day. And the guy eats the same stuff every day, drinks the same amount of coffee every day, but just seeing his daily routine and seeing the amount of success and the amount of work that he puts in daily, no matter what adversity comes his way or comes our team way, he's going to still put his best foot forward. Has his so what, now what mentality. So whatever happens, whether that's this happens this play or this guy gets hurt, no matter what, okay, how we're going to move forward. So I think that's definitely helped me, in the NFL, no matter what adversity comes my way, just seeing him go about the everyday business and the success that he's had has definitely helped me translate to how I walk every day going to work in the NFL.
He is Shaun Dion Hamilton, ladies and gentlemen, joining us live here on the show. Former Alabama linebacker, big-time Crimson Tide linebacker, played from 2014 to 2017, two-time college football playoff national champion 2015 and 2017, helping us out here on the show. Shaun, as always, man, we appreciate you coming on, taking time out of your day to spend with us. You take care of yourself, man. Be good, brother. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Steve. Roll
Absolutely. Absolutely. Shaun Dion Hamilton joined us here on the show talking Crimson Tide football. We're going to go to a break right here, folks. Don't touch that dial because when we get back, it is back on you. Your phone calls, your thoughts, your interactions, your chats, your chats, your texts, your donations. We're coming back to you right after this.
Don't touch that dial. Call in right now as we're taking your calls up next on In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith. Brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Visit WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com now to get your four-finger bling necklace.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Marvin Constant, All-SEC linebacker and 1999 SEC champion. You are listening to In My Own Words, brought to you by Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Roll Tide.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to WhitwellSports.com and get your Title Towel today.
Look at all these great players in Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Man, wait till I turn up this year. I'm gonna be on the front cover. But what if Will goes off? Or Joe, DeMarco, Chris, Tim, Christian.
Don't wait. Order now at touchdownalabama.com or call 833-483-2624 today.
Christian.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
We are rocking and rolling back in here from the break of a number one forum for Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Craziness going on the plains of Auburn as not only Bo Nix in the transfer portal, but running back Tank Bigsby is trying to transfer as well. So Brian Harsin definitely cleaning house over there at Jordan-Hare Stadium. But we're back in here to take your calls. Call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. Number to call in to let your voice be heard, 205-448-1358. We grab this call. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you're calling from.
Yes, sir, man. It's DAQUON. I'm calling from Birmingham, man. I watch the show daily. Big fan, big Bama fan. I just was calling in to get your opinion on a potential matchup with Harbaugh and Saban. Like, does that hold any legacy behind it, or like, do you have any faith in Michigan? Because like Michigan State was just in it past like a couple years back, and they got pounded. So I just want to get your take on it for real.
I would really enjoy a Saban-Harbaugh matchup in the national championship. I really would. I would really enjoy Alabama-Michigan for a national championship. You want to talk about two of the biggest powers that be in college football? I remember when Jim Harbaugh first came to Michigan, he was throwing so much shade at Nick Saban, talking about his satellite camps and whatnot, how he was going to out-recruit Alabama. Like, I would love a matchup between Saban and Harbaugh for the national title, but Harbaugh's got to get past Georgia and Kirby Smart first. But if he does that, I would like to see that happen. We take a call here. You are live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Stephen M. It's Robert from Mobile.
Robert, what's happening, brother?
Hey, definitely echo everything you said about Bryce Young earlier and about the accomplishment of Nick Saban. And it just, again, goes to be amazing all the things that Saban's managed to accomplish during his time in Alabama. We went from no Heisman winner before he got there to now 4 and now 2 in a row. And with Bryce Young's Heisman, his name, image, and likeness, we may have to elevate him from the $1 million man to the $6 million man.
Well, he's going to need bodyguards, man. He's going to need bodyguards and everything.
Absolutely. I mean, I can't wait to see him in that Heisman House commercial, which he can do now. Now with name, image, and likeness, he can make a Heisman House commercial right now. So hopefully he'll be making that real soon with Devontae. I've never seen Mark Ingram do that, one of those, at least not that I can remember. Hopefully he'll maybe do all of Alabama's together in one commercial. That'd be great. I'd definitely like to see that. Yes, it would be. But yeah, it's real interesting that what's happening at Auburn as well. Like, I understand Nick's leaving. He's, hoping to prove that he's somewhat of a competent quarterback somewhere else, something you're not going to be able to do at Auburn. But Tank Bigsby, I mean, man, you can get there all the carries you can handle there. So I'm not sure why he's leaving. It seems like he's doing quite well at Auburn to me, but oh well, it's how it goes. And Auburn's going to have a beat down next year at Alabama when they go there for the game, for the Iron Bowl. But it'll definitely be fun to watch what goes happen with the playoffs. Again, one thing I was kind of disturbing me is we're all almost feeling like the season's over, and I almost wish they would have the Heisman after the season is over. That'd be the last event of the year. So people like us, whose players actually win, are playing in the playoff, won't get that relaxed attitude of it's not over. We got a lot of work to do, and if we don't pull off the championship before we won the Iron Bowl and before we won the SEC championship, this didn't feel like a championship or bust season. Now that we won both of them, well, this is starting to feel like a championship or bust season, and not just a rebuilding year. So we still got a lot of pressure on the team, but I'm confident if we can win against Cincinnati. I just can't see them being able to hang with the Tide. It's the game after that'll be the real test, especially if it's Georgia again. We're tough to beat those guys again. But it's definitely fun to watch Bryce. The speeches he gave was great. The speech that Devontae gave, the little that he gave was also great. If people didn't hear that, they really should try and listen to it. And it's just great to see what Nick Saban's done with this team, with this with the Alabama program. It'll never be this good again, everybody. So let's keep on enjoying it.
Absolutely. Appreciate my man Robert from Mobile with those thoughts there on the show. Got to shout out Elijah with that $20 donation in the Super Chats. Showing the love, showing the appreciation. My man John Ivory got the horn going right now for the man Elijah, that $20 donation. Now, I thought it was weird seeing Tank Bigsby in the transfer portal because he is Auburn's team. I mean, over 900 yards rushing this year, double-digit production and rushing touchdowns. So that was really weird. Once again, it just feels like Brian Harsin cleaning house. But the weirdest of it all, Zach Calzada, the backup quarterback for Texas A&M that beat Alabama at Kyle Field this season, he hops in the transfer portal. And I'm like, what? Calzada is in the transfer portal? Like Jimbo Fisher, that was a quarterback that actually won for you. Like, what? So that, the transfer portal is getting weirder by the day. So keep your eyes on that, people. Guys, shout out Jimmy the Bad Man Clay again, helping us out here in the Super Chats. Is that 25 for Jimmy Clay? That's 20 for Jimmy Clay in the Super Chats, showing love here to us. On the show, we continue, though, with calls. We take this one, 205-448-1358. Number to call in. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you're calling from.
What's going on, Steve? You got your boy Sam coming out of Dallas, Texas. How you doing, sir?
Doing great, Sam. How you feeling, my man?
All right, I just want to say forever young. I want to be forever young. Steve, I just want to say, man, I'm feeling great, man, about this Bryce Young guy, man. We got him at least for another year. I want to say, yes, indeed, man, we got snubbed. My boy Will Anderson got snubbed, but that's just going to be more rat poison on the rat poison, man, for us to be increasing our drive, man, going against these guys, man, on the 31st, and then taking care of business, man, after the New Year's, man. I want to say thank you for your platform, man. I want to say you've been spot on, man, thus far. Keep it going, my brother, and roll tide.
Absolutely appreciate my man Sam from Dallas, Texas, calling in and giving his best Jay-Z impersonation with the song Forever Young there, going for my man Sam. We take this call here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you're calling from.
John from Kentucky. Roll Tide.
John, what's happening, man?
My call. Yeah, we got slammed with an F5, and we got a lot of people that need prayer in this state. Really hit us hard. Thanks for all the prayers. Bryce Young, he's a class act, just like Shaun Hamilton is, number 20. He's a class act. He made Alabama proud, and I'm proud to be a Tide fan. Been one since I was little bitty. So just thanks for the prayers, and roll Tide.
Absolutely appreciate John from Kentucky calling in, and prayers go out to all who have been affected by the inclement weather, affected by the tornadoes. Our thoughts, our condolences here at TDA go out to all of you. We take a call here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you're calling from. Live on the show, caller. Unfortunately, lost that caller there, but we got this call here where we thought we had a caller, no caller there, but we're asking to transition to a topic here. If you want to continue having your calls here on the show, 205-448-1358, the number to call in to let your voice be heard, 205-448-1358. Also, encouraging you, the fans, to smash that like button, hit that like button, run those likes up. You loving the content, you loving this being your show, your platform, your channel, your space to talk Crimson Tide. Hit that like button, run those likes all the way up there. We appreciate the love from you. But the topic is on Coach Saban. Now, back in June, he had a deal for his contract extension, which goes through the 2028-2029 seasons. Now, that deal has been confirmed, and that deal has been agreed upon. That deal is set in motion now. And where that contract is concerned, Coach Saban would become the first $10 million man in terms of head coach in the 2023-2024 year. So that year right there, 2023 to 24, Saban would be the first $10 million head coach. And in the last year of the contract, 2028 to 29, he would make $11.5 million. So as of right now, Saban's at $9.75 million. So 2023-24, first $10 million man, and for the last year of the deal, $11.5 million will be coming for one Coach Saban. So when you're bringing the program so much success, it is a good thing to pay the man that's bringing the program so much success, that being one Nick Saban. But we take a call here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you're calling from.
This is Curtis. I'm calling from Mississippi.
What's happening, brother? What's going on?
I want to talk about Josh Hall. Why come they don't play him?
Well, Ajayi Hall. So Hall right now, talented true freshman from Florida. Now, I know early on in the season there was some off-field things. Coach Saban mentioned that he needs to get in order. He needs to get together in terms of grades, in terms of him being a complete team guy, both on and off the field? Has he gotten those things in order? I think he has. Now, of course, he's been putting out some cryptic tweets, some cryptic posts here on social media. The latest one was he put one up from the Men in Black, from the Men in Black music video with Will Smith there. So I would like to see him on the field just due to he's got the size, he's got the talent, he's got the ability. We saw all of this in the spring game, but how much does he want to be out there in terms of being that team player that he needs to be? But Alabama starts practice on the 16th this week. We will see what he does. But appreciate that call coming in there, right there, talking about my man, Mr. Hall, at wide receiver for Alabama. We're going to go to a break right here, folks. Don't touch that dial, because upon our return, we're going to talk about the top 5 recruits. The top 5 recruits I'm excited to see sign in the early signing period coming up on Wednesday. We get to those recruits to tie up loose ends right after this.
If you're an avid Alabama Crimson Tide fan and you love to flaunt it, then show your Alabama Crimson Tide support by grabbing the All Bama sneakers. They feature bold Crimson Tide graphics, so no one will be able to question where your allegiance lies. When you add these sweet sneakers to your Alabama Crimson Tide collection, go to STSfootwear.com and use the code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. That's code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. Go to STSfootwear.com and get your All Bama sneakers today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, people, we're back in from the break on the number one forum for Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Got the man John Ivory in the production studio. Appreciate all of you calling in, writing in, chatting in, donating in, making this your show, your network, your channel, your platform, and space to talk Crimson Tide football. And before we get into the final topic of conversation for the evening, got to remind you of TDAwear.com. That's TDAwear.com. So for all of you fans overjoyed with the Crimson Tide's national championship from the 2020 campaign, we want you to check out our championship collection merch. This means you grab you an 18 of them things, folk, hoodie, t-shirt, or sweatshirt, as well as our Got 18? We Do shirts. Designs that feature all 18 championship years on the back. You head over to TDAwear.com. Do it right now. TDAwear.com. You go to the Championship Collections merch tab, and you get you that gear today, showing that support for Coach Saban, the University of Alabama, the student athletes, and us here at Touchdown Alabama Magazine. But, John, as we know here, John, on Wednesday, early signing period for the Crimson Tide. Early signing period for this 2022 recruiting class. On Wednesday, Tide fans, get to YouTube because our own Justin Smith, the lead scouting and recruiting analyst extraordinaire, he and I will be all day going with you guys in discussing the recruits coming in, the guys signing on the dotted line, breaking down the analysis, giving our commentary, our thoughts on, wire to wire, keeping you up to date on the early signing day here on Wednesday. But prior to that, John, I thought I would go ahead and I would give my thoughts on the top 5 recruits that I'm excited to see signed here coming up. And now, of course, I will amend this list once all these guys sign and discussing the top 5 freshmen that I'm excited to see in spring ball. So once spring ball gets in here, this list will be amended. This list will be altered some. But right now, just the top 5 guys I'm excited to see sign here for the Crimson Tide. When you think about, Coach Saban, he's trying to bring in another top-ranked recruiting class for this period right here, and he's brought in several top-ranked classes, whether it was a 2008 group, of a 2013 group, of a 2015 group, of a 2017 group, of a 2020 group was a really good group, 2021, this recent group, the best class ever signed on paper. So we know Coach Saban is all about signing the number one class. He's all about signing the top athletes. So here we go here. The 5 guys I'm most excited to see sign. At number 5, we're going to go with quarterback Ty Simpson, 5-star from the state of Tennessee. This is an electrifying quarterback. This is a big play quarterback. I remember talking with our own Justin Smith. He spoke on that Simpson, he's kind of got a lot of Johnny Manziel in his game in terms of on-field production. To me, when I watch him play, I see some of that also. But he is more of a refined, more of a polished, more of a better passer, more of an in-control version of Manziel. Because when Manziel played, he was a bit more wild, a bit more, chaotic, a bit more just running around, just a lot of that backyard football type thing there. But with Ty Simpson, it's a bit more controlled, it's a bit more refined, it's a bit more polished, and with Coach Saban showing you he's hitting now on these elite marquee quarterbacks in discussing the Jalen Hurtses, the Tua Tagovailoas, the Bryce Young, the Mac Jones. With him proving to the nation he can hit on these quarterbacks. He can pop these quarterbacks out. He can develop these quarterbacks. Here comes a Ty Simpson that really excited to see what he can do once he signs here on the dotted line, especially coming up here in spring ball. Yes, Alabama brings back a Bryce Young, absolutely. Yes, Alabama will have a Paul Tyson and a Jalen Milroe, most definitely. But Ty Simpson and what he can bring to the table with his skill set, just very interested and intrigued to see what he does in a crimson and white uniform here for the University of Alabama. So he's number 5. At number 4 for me, give me defensive back Traquan Fagans. Traquan Fagans is intriguing to me because you as Alabama fans have been wondering, can Alabama have that lockdown DB, that lockdown corner, that lockdown defender on the back end? Can it get back to having those guys like the Patrick Surtains, the Marlon Humphreys, the Minkah Fitzpatricks, the Anthony Averett, just lock down defensive backs there in the secondary? And I think Fagans is a guy that does that, especially when you look at this past season here for Thompson High School in Alabaster and here in the Birmingham area. Fagans played big-time ball in 7A. He had a huge interception in the state title game. So the guy can play, the guy can run, the guy can cover, he can defend. He's got great ball skills, great tackling skills, can take the angle away, good size. Love what Fagans puts on tape, what he puts out there on the field, the product that he displays every single week. So keep your eyes there on Traquan Fagans. Really like him in terms of that defensive back spot here, particularly at that cornerback spot there. So moving on down here, or moving on up here, as I should say, to the number 3 guy I'm looking at. Going to go wide receiver Isaiah Bond, or athlete Isaiah Bond here. And he can play DB, but I think as a wide receiver, he is going to be the real deal. As a guy that he's got speed, absolutely. And we've seen the Crimson Tide attack more speed receivers. Henry Ruggs, Jalen Waddle, Jamison Williams. Of course, Jerry Jeudy had speed also when he was at the program. But I think with Bond, he's got the speed, but also he's got the ability to go up and snatch the ball out the air. Even at 5'10", 5'11", he goes up there, he elevates, he wants the football, he battles for the ball. If the ball is in the air, if it's a 50-50 ball, he wants that football. He's going up there making those contested catches, making those tough plays, making those tough adjustments there to the ball, bringing the ball in. So he can play on the inside, As the slot guy, he can also play on the outside at the X or the Z position, showing off that speed, showing off that catch radius, showing off those receiving abilities, those ball skills. So really like what Isaiah Bond brings to the table there at that position. Looking forward to seeing what he does at Alabama. At number 2, give me Sean Murphy at linebacker. And this is another thing U.S. Tide fans have been wondering. Can we get back to having those linebackers that see the ball, get the ball? Can we get back to having those linebackers that can take on a block, shed the offensive lineman away from you, lay out the quarterback, lay out the running back, attack where that ball is going, be an all-around linebacker that can play in coverage, that can thump, that can pass rush, that can create turnovers, get that all-around playmaker at that position. And I think Sean Murphy presents Alabama with that. A guy that can be an all-around backer from that inside perspective here, creating pressure, sacking quarterbacks, attacking the run, and getting some turnovers if need be as well. So excited to see what Murphy does at Alabama. And so at number 1, for me, Jeremiah Alexander from Thompson High School Thompson High School. For me, this is number 1 because just another guy that will continue the tradition of the fearsome edge rusher, the fearsome pass rusher, the fearsome sack specialist. In a conversation I had with Justin, he and I were both talking about, would you rather have Justice Finkley from Hewitt-Trussville High School or Jeremiah Alexander? And Justin looked at me dead in my face and said, Stephen, I would rather have Jeremiah Alexander. No offense to Finkley, but I would rather have Jeremiah Alexander. And from watching this kid play, he can ball. Hand in the dirt, getting after the quarterback. Standing up as a traditional jack linebacker, getting after the quarterback. Pressures. He can even pressure from inside. I've even seen Thompson High School put this dude at inside linebacker, and he's coming off, teeing off on the quarterback, teeing off on running backs, just making consistent negative plays in the backfield. And, with what we've already seen from a Will Anderson, with what we're starting to see more and more from a Dallas Turner and a Drew Sanders, getting a Jeremiah Alexander on campus, looking forward to seeing what this brother does as Bama continuing to hit those edge rushing linebackers in several recruiting cycles. But those would be my 5 guys there. Ty Simpson at quarterback, Traquan Fagans and in the defensive backfield, Isaiah Bond at wide receiver, Sean Murphy at linebacker, and number 1, Jeremiah Alexander as that edge rushing specialist there. Those guys I'm looking forward to see sign here in the early signing period on Wednesday once again, folks. So on Wednesday, our own Justin Smith, he and I will be live on the scene, live on set, breaking down the early signing period, keeping you up to date with all of the analysis of the recruits and when they come in, what happens, what transpires there. So with us having the National Signing Day show, we will not have In My Own Words on Wednesday. We're taking Wednesday, we're dedicating that to National Signing Day, early signing period. So no In My Own Words on Wednesday. We'll be back with the live show on Friday. So that's the news, that's the information right there for you. But as always, Tide fans, you want the best news, notes, information, and coverage on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama magazine app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store. If you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store, if you got the Android phone. For your audio listening needs, check us out right now. iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, Overcast.fm, TuneIn Radio, or iHeartRadio. As always, Tide Nation, you can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama magazine. Have those sent to your door. That link will be found in the description. If you're trying to get the print edition, fresh edition of TDA, the magazine, you do this by going to touchdownalabama.com. You click join, become a member, a subscriber today. That link in the description. If you're trying to get the 4-finger bling necklace, 4-finger bling jewelry, courtesy of our guys at We Own the Fourth Quarter.com, that link in the description as well. But until next time, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives, appreciate, value those husbands, children. We're getting closer in here on the Christmas season, but continue doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing to not be bored. You grab you those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. Until next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith. And as always, you've been listening to In My Own Words.